In today's prophecy update, as we talk about Bible prophecy as major events around the world as it relates to the Bible, there's three things to really draw your attention, really two in particular. The second one's just more of a comment and observation. One of them is the Syrian troops are gathering near Israel's Mount Hermon border. Nothing shocking there, but as we keep mentioning what's happening and developing in Syria, more and more troops are getting closer and closer to Israel's border. Why is that important? Because Ezekiel 38 comes to mind. There will be, with the Russian and the Iran all coming in, and there's going to be other countries involved, as we see here with Syria, they're coming in. They will invade at some point. So they're just getting the pieces of the puzzle coming together. It's just a matter of time. We do know that they always do a war drill every year. And so this coming summer, they have a big war drill that will last about a month, kind of up in that area as well. But I bring that to your attention because we're seeing the tension continue to mount within the region and how quickly things can develop. Just overnight, how quickly things can come into place. So again, we still need to see the Isaiah 17, the destruction of Damascus. That's getting closer and closer each month. But that is just keep a pulse on what's happening in Syria as it relates to Ezekiel 38. Also speaking of Israel, and here's the side comment, but this is kind of where you can see where this next administration in the U.S. stands. He's been in office, the President Biden, for the last week and a bit. He has yet to still call and talk to Benjamin Netanyahu. He's called every other world leader. He's had communication with them, but he hasn't touched base with Israel. And that's very similar, very typical of a Democrat, or the same thing with the Obama administration. He had a hatred toward Netanyahu and Israel. And you're seeing it playing out within this Biden administration. And again, the promise in Genesis 12, I will bless those who bless you and I'll curse those who curse you. And you can see the nations that are blessed when they're supporting Israel. When they pull back that support, you see the destruction that happens upon those nations so often. But we also know biblically in the end times, Israel will stand by itself. And this will be one of those administrations will pull back the support, and not supporting Israel as it should. But it'd be wise for every country to support and be a blessing to Israel. It's a no-brainer. It's wisdom. You want to be blessed? Support Israel. I'll bless those who bless you and curse those who curse. But regardless, we need to be praying for our leaders. Local, state, federal, whether we like them or not, whether we agree with them or not, doesn't matter. We need to be praying for our leaders. That's what the Bible tells us to do. Pray for wisdom. Pray for they would make the right decision. Pray for their salvation, that they come to Christ. Amen? And then the last thing to bring your attention, because we will see this unfold pretty quickly, there is a report that came out of the Global Institute that talked about introducing global COVID travel pass to get the world moving again. So this article was mainly talking about what's happening in the UK and in Europe, but this is a global idea to have a global passport, even though if you have an Australian passport or whatever country you're from, that's great for that. But this will be a global, across the board, of those who have the COVID vaccine. As we know, a lot of the airlines will not allow you to fly unless you have especially internationally more than domestic, unless you have the COVID vaccine. And this is one of those proofs. So this is one of those things that's setting up a globalist system to keep track of everyone that's traveling, going in and out of countries, which our passports do, and they have everything in place there. But this will be one of those key things that you see is in place that's important for government, global government, the one world government. As we know, that eventually the Antichrist will be ruling and reigning during the tribulation period. It's not the mark of the beast. That's a whole other subject there. But you can see systems are getting in place. 20 years ago, we never thought we'd be where we're at right now, and how quickly things are escalating from a global, one world government perspective. And so that's one of the things that I just wanted to bring to your attention. But it's interesting how these things are quickly lining up. Pieces of the puzzle ever so quickly coming together in these end times. And I don't know about you, but just watching it all unfold it's intriguing. It's fascinating. It's not scary, but it's just one of those things. See how it all plays out. How do these pieces of the puzzle come together? As you see what the scriptures tell us to do and what it says of what's going to happen. But as we say, every update, keep your eyes on Jesus and stay in the Word. Amen? And that's it for today's update. you.